as financial investments. So let's also look at the CNY is the abbreviation, internationally known as yuan, but in China it would be called renminbi. I think it means the new money. When you have that kind of current account surpluses, you would expect a country's exchange rates to appreciate. In China's case, appreciation means uh, this exchange rate going down because its value of $1 in yuan. But back in 2004, it was 827. Now it's about 7. It went as low as 6 in 2013. That's primarily US dollar had weakened internationally because of 2008 crisis. If this was any other country, or if this was a country that did nothing to manage the level of their currency, we probably would have seen somewhere around 4s, but it didn't. Why? Because China doesn't want its currency to appreciate too much. If it appreciates a lot, Chinese goods are more expensive in dollar terms now. Obviously, they don't want that. The way to achieve that is keeping international reserves. So let's think about a simple transaction. Uh, Chinese company makes iPhone batteries, let's say, okay? And Apple pays them $1 billion. I don't know what the amount is, but just making this stuff up. So Apple sends them $1 billion. That's a current account surplus. Normally, what happens with that $1 billion? The company obviously pay their own suppliers, but that money goes into China. They put it in their bank account. Normally, they would convert it into local currency, and that's it. What Chinese government actually tells you, no, you can't actually convert them into yuan. And if you do, I'm gonna buy those. So Chinese central bank or People's Bank of China, something like that, buys those dollars from the local companies, gives them the renminbi, and what are they gonna do? They're not gonna keep it in the vault. They actually buy foreign assets with them. And what are those foreign assets? You know, U.S. You know, treasury bonds typically. But one of the reasons China had capital account surpluses, a lot of companies do foreign direct investment. So Apple, I want my uh, batteries to be done somewhere in Guangdong province or whatever that province name is. Instead of using a local supplier, I actually set up a factory there myself. I just happen to use, Chinese employees in that. That's foreign direct investment. In many cases, China actually requires companies to do so. If you're an automobile company and you want to sell cars in China, to say, yes, you could, but you're going to have to do some sort of factory outside of Shanghai or somewhere. So they get foreign direct investment that way. So all that difference shows up in official reserves. Suddenly the official reserves go up quite a bit because, you know, without official reserves, uh, capital account and current account have to add up to zero. I view capital and financial as the same without any discrepancies as well. So whenever you have that, you know that the country is actually doing something about manipulating, at least making sure that exchange rate does not appreciate. Just like a country who doesn't want their currency to depreciate too much have to sell foreign reserves, so their uh, reserves account will have a negative balance. China has a positive balance. They keep it as U.S. treasuries. Let's see what's the estimate. This is 780 billion. That cannot be right. 10.3% of U.S. national debt. I think that number is incorrect. Let's look at it. So China about they must have sold some because it used to be a lot more. 770, Japan over a trillion. Of course, a lot of the national debt is held by uh, Federal Reserve and Social Security. 'Cause those guys have to invest it somewhere. Let me see. In terms of trading partners, let me make this big. As of 2018, these are the trading partners of US. Look at the trade balance of US with China, $419 billion. Remember the overall trade imbalance of US? It was about 317. Actually, you don't have to guess. We have the number right here. Overall trade deficits, about 563 billion. So China accounts for close to 80% of US trade deficits. Canada a little bit more, Mexico quite a bit. A lot of that uh, has to do with a lot of um, assembly factories in Mexico for cars. Technically speaking, you know, the engine and other stuff are made in U.S. They're exported to Mexico. The finished thing is brought here. Among these major ones, let me see, Netherlands, Brazil, and UK are the only countries where U.S. has any trade surplus. I don't know what Brazil buys more. Can't be oil. They have oil.